Let's bring you the updates and then we get into discussion now. For years, the Apapa area has been synonymous with traffic issues, but that may soon be a thing of the past if development around the area is anything to go by. This is due to the efforts of the Lagos State Government. The State Government is urging terminal operators to support the interventions set in place to end the gridlock in Apapa and its environs. This as the gridlock has eased considerably in recent times. Recall that the e-collop system was set up to rectify the constant gridlock in the Apapa area that had hampered business activities for a long time. So the question now is, what has changed? We'll look at that. So Honorable Shola Giwa, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Central Business District and Head of Operations, Apapa Special Management Committee, is here in the studio to make sense of all of this. Honorable, nice to have you join me, and good morning.
Good morning.
Great. Now, for years, in fact, more than a decade, in fact, further than that, there has been an issue. In fact, Apapa has been synonymous with not just traffic, but a gridlock kind of traffic, where everything is on standstill. People talk about the containers and truck drivers being in one place for days. But gradually we saw that easing up somehow and all of that. But what has really changed? Talk to us about that right now.
Thank you very much for having me this morning. Yes, it's work in progress. And for us to start, we should actually look at the process, or from the beginning, what is even the capacity of the ports? And what is it they're doing right now? That's what we should look at. The port is doing right now about 3,000 trucks a day. 2 ports.
3,000 trucks in one day?
In one day. That is the LPC and the Apapa Tinkan ports. Like I said, what has changed is what the efforts. MPA, yes, they've done a lot. The e-collop system has really helped. And then on our own part, I want to talk about the traffic management. That is what we do. Lagos, that's what the governor set up the committee headed by the special advisor, Tony Fayenka. So I am the ones on the boots on ground, making sure that the people, the traffic management there is fine. So what has really changed is the e-collop system and our own persistence to make sure that trucks do not stay on the road. Our SOP is that at any point in time, trucks must keep moving. If you live in Apapa, there's nothing you can do about it. You'll always see these trucks because they have to come to the port. Don't forget, the port is actually the main hub of Nigeria's economy, both the oil and even the commerce. So trucks will need to go there. We have tankers going to the port. We have trailers going to the port. Even industrial trucks. Dangote is there, Honeywell is there, Flour Mills is there. So you'll always see these trucks. And then if you actually look at the vehicular density of Lagos State, compared to that of Nigeria, it's about 244 vehicles per kilometer of road, and then the average of Nigeria is 15 vehicles per kilometer. That is for a normal vehicle. However, now talk about how trucks move. Trucks don't move the way normal vehicles move. They move at the slower level, slower pace than the normal trucks. So what has happened is that we have said that at no point in time we do not want to see any truck that is stationary. So the e-collop system was put in place. What does it mean? That you come in batches. You come from a satellite truck parks, and it is only when there's space for you at a particular terminal, that's when you can come. So right now, it is working very well. And for the purpose of this discussion, there's the Apapa GRA side and there's the Apapa Oshodi side. That is the one. Apapa Oshodi side is the one that leads to the Tinkan port.
That is the one a lot of people will say no-go area.
Yeah, before it was no-go area. There's still some hiccups. Okay, now let's talk to the GRA people. Like I said, I've said this at so many fora. You can go and do your own investigation. Call the people of Apapa GRA. They will say, oh well, Mr. Governor, thank you for a good job that you're doing. Now, for the Apapa Oshodi Expressway, that is the Tinkan Island axis. Number one, the road is still under construction. Number two, that particular port has more terminals than the Apapa port terminal. And most of them are actually coming from this area, Amuwo Dofi. And the major issue we're having there right now that is hampering the call-off system is the empty containers.
Okay.
If I need to get it down, you see, when you take out a truck and import from the port and you take it out, MPA started a policy of, say, every vehicle, every ship that is coming to Nigeria, if you bring in, say, 100 import, you must take in at least 80%. The question needs to be asked, are these shipping lines taking 80% of those empty back when they are leaving?
Do they have the capacity?
Oh, they have it. It's a very simple thing. Okay. You bring in 100 imports into the country. Whenever you are leaving, you must take at least 80% of those empties back out
to
of
wherever you're coming
Even
from.
though it is not profitable for them, they rather take export. But how many export do we really do here? If you know, of course, we all know that Nigeria is more of an import dependent. So MPA said also part of their policy that they have started now, since we started working with them now, they are enforcing it more, is that this empty shipping line containers company should have holding bays outside outside the maritime ecosystem. That's why you go to somewhere in Amuwo satellite.
You see lots of
these shipping lines are meant to have these holding bays. They should have a minimum capacity of, say, about 100 trucks. But tell me, ask them, how many can those holding bays hold? You go there, you find out that they don't even have the requisite. For them to be able to do there are supposed to be some things that they should put in place. Have electronic barrier, have CCTV, 24 hours night.
All right,
so that these trucks can be kept there.
All right, now you mentioned the issue of the barrier, the CCTV, the electronic, all of those, and all of that.
Yeah, that is
what would it take to make them have that? If that is supposed to be the regulation. Where this is a criteria.
So I am now using this opportunity to call on MPA to sanction the shipping lines, even though it's a bit because they are international companies, and then I think the maximum they can actually do for them is to withdraw their there's something like a visa.
License.
No, not really a patient. There's something that you have is tantamount to a visa. That before any shipping line comes to Nigeria or any ship comes to Nigeria, if you don't get the visa, you won't be able to come. But you know what that can do to the economy. So I don't know. It is left for MPA to really right now, and the public to really shout out that these shipping lines have to conform with the rules and regulations. So that's why, as much as they do this that I would say they should do, of course they do their ticket and stuff like that. But what happens? The trucks just keep coming. There's no place to hold them down. That is, we have space to hold down the imports and the flatbeds. But what is happening to this? So, and then what you see, about 70% of the trucks that you see on the Apapa Oshodi Expressway are empty containers. So they are meant to be coming from those holding bays. But are those holding bays, are they really in existence? If they are there, are they big enough to hold down these trucks? That's what is happening. So
what's the effort to create more holding bays?
No,
if the ones right now are not, they don't have the capacity to contain all of those containers and all of the things that, what's the arrangement to have more besides all of that?
Like I said, I work for the governor of Lagos State. There's a committee. I work for I'm a member of the committee that's set up. I am just the head of the operations. I am saying this house, calling out MPA, calling out the shipping line, so that we can know that is the area we need to fix now. But it doesn't fall within my jurisdiction. So I know that is part of the problem. They know that's part of the problem.
Yeah, but the point there is, if you,
so for me, it is
you have a perfect understanding of what these things are.
Oh, they do too.
And they do, you do, and you work for the government. And
I work for the government of Lagos State.
Yes, exactly. You work for the government of Lagos State. And these things are in Lagos State. And they're creating a challenge for Lagos residents.
Yes.
So, in your capacity as someone who works for the government, wouldn't that be part of the recommendation? Government, what can we do in this regard?
Oh, like I said, we have every week we have a meeting twice, Thursdays and Tuesdays.
Okay. We
have a standard meeting with MPA, with ATO, and every other person that's involved in that business. And these are the things we're highlighting. It has gotten to its time now that we'll have to say this out. You understand?
What's the response from the NPA in all of this?
Okay, good. Some few weeks ago, we saw the lacuna on the part of the TTP. We called it out because before we come out here and
TTP?
talk. Oh, that's the company TTP.
Oh, it's the name of a company.
The company that owns the franchise of that Eto.
Okay.
That they do the tickets is the one that
Right.
So they work with MPA. They are the one that's behind the electronic column. That's the company that's behind. I called them out about 2 weeks ago when we saw what they were doing. We sit down at meetings and say these things need to be done. And then because we have this good relationship, you understand now, cordial relationship, Lagos State and MPA, so we need to look at things on the same table. But if I am saying, guys, we need to do this and you don't do it, what do? I make recommendations to the governor. I will say that. So what we're saying is that TTP, when they were slacking, we told them they were slacking. Now, their own parks, because let me explain to you how this thing works. There are some parks that are under MPA. That is the parks that does the exports and the flatbeds. There are categories of trucks that enter the truck. But these empties are basically under the purview of the shipping lines and MPA. So the part of TTP they've done, but the part of the shipping lines they have not done. So we need to say it the way it is. So the shipping line companies, especially the ones handling empty containers, are the ones that are giving us a whole lot of everything. And I'm calling out MPA. MPA supervise them.
Yeah, but Honorable Giwa, the point there is, it is one thing to call these people out.
Yes.
It's another thing to say, well, we have the power and the authority right now to ensure that we put our foot down to have this thing done. When it comes to the time frame and as to, okay, if you don't adhere to this, this is going to be the consequences and all of that.
Oh, that's what we do. However, what happens, the consequences for me, I own the road, quote unquote. So if I see infractions on the road, I go there and arrest these vehicles. However, ask me, the man that's meant to go and drop an empty container in a particular holding bay and got there, and for whatever reason, is not being able to access
the holding bay.
And the people of the area are shouting, what do? I'm in a dilemma. Of course, I work for the citizens of Lagos State. That's what the governor does. He promised them free road. So what do? We go there and take out these trucks and they start shouting, the Lagos State government is extorting them. However, what do I do? I cannot allow you to stay on the road. And that's where I function. As much as I want to work with MPA, and as much as we're working together, where I can't do anything, I cannot allow the other citizens not to be able to have free access. So that is very important.
Talking about the issue of extortion, we have had, especially because your jurisdiction is the road, so let's concentrate on this road for a little while. They've talked about the issue of extortion from government agencies sometimes. I wonder what reports you have heard and what you have done regarding that, because we've heard some of the truck drivers and tanker drivers narrate their ordeal.
Yes. I need you to look at it from this way. There's a process in place for you to bring, and I'm going to use Apapa Oshodi. Apapa axis GRA as an example. Before now, there used to be a mammoth of police from Ijola or Sifax down to LPC port. At every at every junction, maybe about 16 junctions, and we're talking about just about less than 3 kilometer road stretch. And you will see nothing less than 100 police. If you share between 50, the minimum point where you see police, you see like 10 police officers. And why are they there? Trucks are coming indiscriminately. Everybody wants to get to the port at their own time, not following the time belts, because we have what is called a time belt. Now, because probably you're supposed to move, say, 7 p.m., but you want to get to the port early, you start moving around 5 p.m. You understand that? So what happens? The man knows that you're not supposed to be there. Of course, oh, God, make a pass. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So that happens. However, if you look at that axis now, if you go and count the number of policemen there, they are less than 20. Now, what has happened is that because the system is working, I am coming at the right time, I have my ticket, and I will go. So, worst case, if anyone stops me, what is going to happen? I say, okay, I have my ticket. This is a valid ticket. Just like you want to go to, I always give this example. You want to go into Lekki Phase 1 from, say, Alexander or Bodilon. You know, there's usually, at that roundabout, there's usually a police checkpoint there. Now you get to that police checkpoint. I have a valid ticket, and someone does not have that the card to be able to allow the barrier at the toll gate to open. If I bribe the policeman there, I get to the port, what will happen? And I get to the barrier and I cannot open. Next time, what will happen? I will not pay the police. I don't know if you understand it now, but if I get there, I pay the police and I get to the barrier and I somehow was still able to open it, then that means that police officer will always be there asking for money, knowing that I can always bribe my way out. However, right now, the electronic system has been put in place. Even if you go to the port without that ticket, you will not be able to enter. So that is a disenfranchisement for the police. So that's why you have less police on that axis. However, on the Apapa Oshodi Expressway, I have told you what is the problem. Because you cannot move, you cannot take your port. That's where the major extortion is happening. You cannot put your truck in that holding base. You have to come. You are coming on your own. You are not coming at the time you're supposed to come. So the policeman will look at you. Okay, why you want to go? When I say, I don't want to just say policeman, the law enforcement people, they are there. You understand it now? And say, this man, what is happening? In fact, what happened is this. Once you come out now and say there's congestion, this is about the narrative. You come out now on this program, say there's congestion in Apapa. What will happen is this, that agent that's supposed to bring out a truck, we just go and meet someone and say, I don't want to go to that place, I beg, how will you help me take my trucks? So we are creating, our narrative
in that case, the law enforcement agents are contributing to the challenge you have there.
No,
is that what you're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we do not take care of the root problem, the root cause, what is the cause? Why is the rush to the port? Why is everybody going to the port without following ETO? ETO means in sequence. You understand it now? So once there is disruption of that road, what happens? Some people will definitely, what that means is that we have created avenue, we have created food for some people because there's confusion. So what I'm saying is that I'm using a Apapa axis to show you that there is no, or I can't say that nobody is collecting anything. You understand it now fully. We know the Nigerian system. Even if you just put just one policeman on the road or one enforcement officer, I see myself, okay, but what is happening? People are saying, I'm not paying you. That is happening in Apapa area. The truckers are saying, we are not going to pay you. And it's fizzling out because why? We have fixed the problem in that axis. But for the other axis, because of these empty containers that are still coming in, and I tell you what, 70% of the trucks you see on that axis are empty containers, and they are still coming indiscriminately. So even the ones that has been regulated, that is the imports, the exports, and the flatbeds, are also stocked among them. So being stocked there, someone will come and say, this line stop, I want to pass this line. So what does that bring about? It leaves room for extortion. So what I'm saying is that we are not looking at the issue. Let us look at the solution. The major root cause is being able to sort them out from where they are coming. All right.
So within where they're taking for those who are going, because you talked about 3,000 trucks that are attended to on a daily basis. Yes. So how long does it take to attend to one truck at a time?
Oh, that's another major issue. Sometimes I walked into a particular terminal and I did a video. They said normally it costs them 1 minute to treat one.
1 minute?
1 minute. And I kid you not, 15 minutes, a particular terminal operator was attending to a flatbed for 15 minutes. I have it on record. And I was there, they knew I was recording, and they were doing the best they could. So what is happening is that even the capacity of those terminal operators, their equipment need to be upgraded. That is what is happening. Someone needs to talk to them. I don't want to call names right now. I don't want to call names. But we all know. If anybody that's watching me, they say, we know the terminal they are talking about. But it's happening with almost all of them. That is what you see that is happening. So a truck gets to the place. Of course, there's another one that you're not even getting. That is, there's still customs there. So when a truck gets there, there will still be custom checks. So this will cause a lot of delay and backlog. So what do we do on our end is that no matter what, TTP, MPA, you cannot do more than say 50 trucks within particular this hour. So they come. So what we created for the Apapa people, which are bringing to the Think and Island, is there's a time belt. Flatbeds comes at a particular time. Export comes at a particular time. The manufacturing company comes at a particular time. And we also included the people living around that area, Apapa. That between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., no trucks move into Apapa, so that people living in Apapa GRA can go to work and come back. And then between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. also, no trucks move into Apapa. So if we see a category that's not supposed to move at that time, and that's what we are trying to replicate in Tinker, that doesn't seem to be working now. Like I said, because of the flushing of the road. You can see what they are showing now. This was like 2 days ago. And this is what happens every day. This is during the period when trucks don't come. It gives the people of Apapa area the opportunity to move into their work. And when they are coming, they make sure that there's at least one lane for the people moving into Apapa, and that's exactly what we're trying to do in Tinker.
What's the plan for the 24-hour service within the port? Because there was a time that was fronted by the NPA to say that we want to run 24-hour service.
The port runs 24 hours.
Okay.
I can tell you, I don't want to talk. You see, as much as I work with MPA, we have a collaboration, Lagos State and MPA. We have a working relationship right now for the first time, and it's showing. So what you see is this, and this is Apapa. The one they just showed was Apapa Oshodi Expressway. This is the one into Tinker. So it is not for me to talk about what MPA is doing or defend them or hold brief for them. For me, it's about what we need to do. How everyone needs to work together to achieve something like this every day. Even though, like I said, you live in Apapa, you will always see vehicles. You will always see trucks because it's a port area. What we need to do is make sure that other ports in the country are working. About 80% or 70% of all the import and exports out of this country goes to Apapa. And there are other trucks, there are other ports. So what are we doing about it?
So have you give yourself a kind of a time frame by which you should be able to achieve this seamless flow of traffic and putting this gridlock or this challenge of congestion behind?
Congestion. The road is not congested.
Whatever the thing is.
Wherever it's
because
congested.
It comes and it goes. In fact,
congestion.
you mentioned it earlier, that it recurs sometimes and it goes. Yes. It comes sometimes and it goes.
Hey, that's the
in the eyes of the Lagosian who lives around there. He doesn't have the confidence
to say I'm going home.
Exactly. Okay. So the moment you don't have that confidence, where you have to do mind calculation every time as to, okay, I don't know what it's going to look like and all of that, it's as bad.
No, okay.
So the point there is, at what point are we going to put this thing behind?
Where we are in, okay, there's this group in Apapa Security and Traffic Platform. I belong there. When we started this, it was always, what is the road? So if anyone on that platform, anytime they want to leave their house or they want to come to Apapa, they just go on the platform and say, what is inbound? Are we taking one way today? I've always been, and I'm still on that platform. And now nobody even asks again. So we have been able to get to that point when people are going home and they don't ask for what is the situation. Are we going to take one way today? So for us, that is an achievement. That is what the governor promised the people of Apapa GRA. Now, Apapa Oshodi Expressway, we will get there. The road, there's still about 2 kilometer road now that is being fixed. The palliative is on right now. That particular place, there's no way a vehicle a truck will navigate that place and not spend at least 30 minutes, just one truck to navigate that access. So you know what that means. Now, we will get there. There are some things we have put in place. I don't want to come here now. The policies that MPA is putting in place to make sure that this works, that we have recommended for them also, that say they will agree to. I think it will come on board. But we're giving ourselves, yes, hopefully, I hope to come back here in the next 2 months or 1.5 months and tell you that, see, like I promised the people of Apapa GRA, then I went to them, had a meeting with them, and I said, this governor promised you guys that you will be moving freely in and out of Apapa.
All right.
I'm back, here I am now, saying you that.
All right. So let's hope all things being equal from what you are saying, end of this year, for Apapa residents and for those who are involved in business one way or the other to be able to access that road without necessarily finding out from each other what's the situation of the road. Are we taking one way today or something?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Shola Giwa, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Central Business District. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.